Whenever I talk about oppositional defiant disorder, I inevitably get questions about DMDD, which is disruptive mood dysregulation disorder. So a child cannot be diagnosed with DMDD and ODD at the same time. If the child meets criteria for both, then DMDD should be diagnosed rather than ODD. DMD is a chronic disorder in childhood. Children cannot be diagnosed with DMDD past the age of 18. These kids are frequently irritable, have severe outbursts, emotional outbursts, temper tantrums that are out of proportion to the situation at hand. So if ODD is more focused on behavior, DMDD is more focused on mood. There's some controversy over this diagnosis as well, similar to ODD. So if I get a child in my practice that's diagnosed with DMDD, I'm going to use the same framework I use for children that are diagnosed with ODD. I am going to look at their medical history. I'm going to ask about adoption. I'm going to ask about trauma. I'm going to ask about birth and early childhood and development. We're going to explore things like occupational therapy, sensory needs, neurodiversity. I'm going to look at relational capacity, friendships, peers, all of that. And then I'm going to always start working with the parent first. I want to know what happens at home, what the triggers are, what makes this child feel better, what makes this child feel worse. Are there any periods of time where we're having less irritability or more irritability? What makes this child feel safe, seen, and connected? How is that relationship with the parent? Are there times where you guys are both regulated together, or do you feel like you don't have any times of shared joy? And then that kind of becomes our goal. Can we get more calm and more regulation from the child? What does that child need? What does our support look like for your unique child? And then in those periods of calm, can you get relational joy and two-way interactions that are engaging and fulfilling for both of you? So you see, it always comes back to regulation for me. I'm always looking at mental health through the lens of regulation and co-regulation. So I'm not sure if this is helpful, but all things considered, I'm still going to clinically treat it very similar to how I would treat ODD through a lens of regulation.